Hey guys, today I am making a soap for a new collection that I am planning. This is actually going to be in connection with a new product that I am going to be launching in the months ahead. So there's a little teaser for that. You can be looking forward to something new on the horizon. I am almost always looking to expand, and not because I need more products, but because I like I like making different things. I like variety. I like exploring different elements of science and chemistry and that kind of thing, which is so funny is because that's not what I was like growing up. I did not have a natural curiosity about chemicals or about putting things together, but the creativity plus the science, it just, I don't know, it gets to me. I really get excited about that. And I think it's because I know what it does to my brain. It does really, really good things to my brain when I learn something new. So I always try to push myself to expand beyond my comfort zone. As hard as that is, change can be hard, but if you don't change, you won't try new things. So I really do. I do try to get outside my comfort zone. Now watch this morph as I blend this from that muted brown to a rich ruby red. I love it. This color is Burgundy Pigment from Brambleberry. And today I'm doing something that I have done before, but it's not a common thing that I do. I actually have a matte on my silicone liner in my mold, and you'll see it in just a minute, but it's going to have a lace impression on the top of my loaf, so I'm pouring in reverse. This color that I'm doing now is going to actually be the top color, but I'm going to pour it first. It's going to be in the bottom of my mold, and you'll see as I move along what I mean. This fragrance oil does accelerate, so I did wait until the very end, till right before I was going to pour, to actually add the fragrance. If I had added the fragrance to the full batch, all of my layers would be completely set up. See that little pink mat? Yep, that's a lace mat. It's silicone. It sticks to the bottom of the silicone liner. And if it didn't, we'd have problems because it would float up and then it would just be caught in the middle and we'd have an awkward situation. But it does stick to the bottom of that purple silicone liner. And I just leave it in there until I am ready to cut. All right, now on to this middle layer. I did put a little bit of glitter in this one, and then it's also, the colorant is Spicy Tomato from Mad Micas. This was one of my first colorants I ever used, and using it just is very nostalgic for me. I have another red that I actually prefer to this one, but when I want kind of a vintage rustic red, I always come back to this one. It's just such a happy color. And again, it looks really muted, almost like brown, and then when I actually stick blend it, it becomes this brilliant, beautiful color. Some colorants are like that. I don't know if they're just denser, or like titanium dioxide will almost always do that. It's hard, nigh on impossible, honestly, to fully incorporate titanium dioxide unless you actually stick blend it, which can be tricky when you're working with fragrance oils that accelerate, because titanium dioxide also tends to accelerate. So you really have to be light on your feet in your motions and be able to work pretty fast. This layered soap, I did not want perfectly flat layers. If I did, I would let this bottom layer set. See how that pierced through? Yep, that's exactly what I was going for. I poured from a higher, if I wanted it to be really super flat, I would have used a spatula to break the fall. I would have poured really, really close to the surface of the soap, but I poured higher up because I wanted it to pierce through that layer. I wanted it to have kind of a wavy effect, almost like a flame-like effect. So there are a couple tricks to doing layers, and that's one of them. If you want it to be super flat, you wait till that bottom layer is completely set up, and then you use a spatula to break the fall. But I really like that kind of wavy look. So, and I have done layers before. It just tends to be less enjoyable in the actual making process for me personally, because there's so much room for error and you have to be so precise. So now this is the last layer. And this one's just going to be like a creamy layer. Some of the fragrances I'm using today do discolor slightly, so I did add titanium dioxide to this layer, as well as some apricot seed powder, because I did want to have a little bit of exfoliation in this soap, so that adds a little bit of interest visually, but also a little bit of exfoliation. That's why the titanium dioxide is chunky. It is fully dispersed, and I disperse my titanium dioxide in hot water, as hot as I can possibly get it. That way there are very minimal chunks. I still always stick blend titanium dioxide when it's in my batter, but as far as having like little streaks in the soap, I really don't get that because of how I disperse it. It's fully dispersed, it's fully liquid by the time I pour it in. So the fragrances today, I used Pink Sands from the Midwest Fragrance Company. I also used Rose Gold from Brambleberry, and the last one was Green Apple Explosion from Nature's Garden. I did quite a blend, but the scent is incredible. I was thinking of doing just Pink Sands, but then I really just wanted to have a few other notes in there. So this blend is divine. It smells so good. That rose gold does discolor to like tan. So that's basically why I used the titanium dioxide in that last layer. It's because I didn't want it brown. Like I wanted it to be like, this is clearly a cream color, not brown. So, all right. So here we go on the cutting. And this white is about to become the bottom of the soap instead of the top. And you will see how I work that. If you're going to do this method, the key is to get the top layer as flat as possible. Mine does have a tiny little wave in it, but I just left it. And get ready for some ASMR. Wouldn't it be delightful if like I did an entire video of ASMR for for soap sounds? You know, like peeling the mat off a new loaf or beveling the edges. The thing is, honestly, this is why I do voiceovers, is because the room that I work in, the room that I make my soap in, is the furnace room. Like I have my washer and dryer in there. I have my furnace, the AC is in there. It's so loud. And, you know, somebody might walk in the room and start talking to me. And I have kids, quite frankly. Someone could come in and say, "Mama, can you wipe my butt?" Like, I just don't want that happening while I'm making soap. So that's typically why I do voiceovers, because I can control, like, I can edit it much more easily. But it would be fantastic to just have a video, even if it's a short video, of ASMR soap sounds. I've gotten into watching on Instagram. They have like soap crushing or soap cutting ASMR. And it's like these tiny little confetti soaps that they squish with their hands. It's so wildly relaxing, and some of them have like chalk powder in them, and some of them have like shaving cream in them. If you know, you know. You just know. Either you know or you don't, but it's wildly satisfying. So this stamp is the one that I'm asked most often about, and I tell a lot about because I'm asked a lot about. This is I call it a slide stamp simply because you slide the letters on. It's customizable. It is technically a biscuit stamp. And if you go onto Amazon and search biscuit stamp, you will find lots of different options that have customizable stamps. They have like circle ones, they have this straight one like I have. It's really not that expensive. The one that I purchased, I got like 3 years ago and it's still going strong. I only got it for like $5. This one is no longer available, but I know for a fact that they have lots of other ones. So if you're looking, to get something like this, it does have a little bit of a learning curve, but I do it on most all of my soaps. You really get used to it and you learn to kind of read your soap. So if you don't get it at first, you will. You will if you stick with it. So I love that little lace on the top. I did not actually take a picture of the lace on the top, but here is the face of the bar. I'm really pleased with how this batch turned out, and I know it's going to be a great complement to that brand new product that I'm going to launch in the next few months. As always, my name's Martha. I'm the owner and operator at Blue Haven Soapery. You can find all my goodies online at bluehavensoapery.etsy.com.